Welcome, my art warriors! Today we're diving into the ultimate guide on how to unleash your artistic superpowers in less than a year. Yes, it is possible for you to go pro in less than a year. I will freely share these secrets with you. I will freely unleash this power within you. The only cost is that you give me a subscribe and ring that bell, baby. I also want to thank the more than 50,000 people who have purchased workshops, some of my more hardcore workshops on game development, concept art for video games, or my beginner easy art lessons over on my Gumroad channel. For those of you who are super serious about your art journey, that's going to really help you. All right, let's get ready to level up your art skills. Okay, my fellow art adventurers. All right, first things first, set your goals, write them down. Make them solid. You know, by writing them down, you give them power, and suddenly it becomes something you're subconsciously thinking about, right? And this could be anything, whatever your goals and ambitions are. Make it lofty, but also make it something that you're really passionate about, because everything becomes a job at some point. So make it something that you're really enthusiastic about. But it could also just be something small. It's more short term, you know, whether it's just that you want to conquer anatomy, or like, you know, drawing a ninja, really cool ninja, or being able to paint faces as vibrant and colorful as, you know, some artists that you see on Instagram or online. Having clear goals is going to be what's going to keep you on track, at least even if it's short term. But I do believe there are two types. You should have a short-term goal and a long-term goal. Where do you want to be in like 5 years with this? All right, number 2, establish a consistent practice routine. Consistency is our secret weapon, okay? Just like working out, you're not gonna get gains unless you're consistently coming back. The biggest reason why a lot of people don't grow or don't develop their art skills is because they don't show up. So you gotta set time aside and schedule it. And it helps if you put it in a calendar, or you make it something that every single day you set up that time to do. It's like, well, okay, during my lunch hour, I like to draw and I like to do a lesson. Or maybe you come home and immediately after, coming home from work or school or wherever it is, whatever your schedule is, maybe you can even start waking up earlier if you're a morning person. But schedule some time every single day, even if it's only for 5 minutes, because the hardest part is just sitting down and doing it. And if you're having fun doing it, before you know it, you will have looked back and realized you just did 30 minutes of drawing or an hour of drawing. And then you can expand that as you develop your creative muscles and your drawing muscles. You find yourself able to sit down and draw for 3 or 4 hours at a time. All right, tip number 3, learn from the masters. You know, time to summon the wisdom of the art masters, okay? Dive into their enchanted realms of creativity. Learn their spells, or AKA their techniques, and sprinkle a bit of that magic onto your own canvas. Now remember, imitation is the sincerest form of artistic mastery. And don't be worried if your artwork looks too close to what those other artists have done. If you're just learning and you're just developing your skills, you want to just emulate. You can grow from there, okay? You know, obviously, you know, if you're inspired by a specific artist when you did a piece, if you're copying it one-to-one, make sure that if you're gonna post it online, make sure that you post that you did copy that, okay? Because what you're trying to do is just absorb the skills. That way you can go on and do these things on your own. This is sort of like having the training wheels on your bike, you know? You're not in the competition, you're in the training phase. Tip number 4, seek some constructive feedback. Brace yourselves, art warriors. Do not fear the feedback dragon. You need to slay it, okay? Join art guilds. I have a tremendous art guild over on my Discord channel. You can find the link in the description below. Over there, we do monthly art challenges. These are concept art challenges, creative challenges, and it's an encouraging environment where you'll get feedback if you ask for it, but you can also help other artists. Gather insights from other people who've traveled on that journey, on the adventure that you're setting out on. You know, constructive criticism is our secret weapon for improvement, okay? And that's not gonna be, oh, well, this sucks, or, ooh, this is awesome. You wanna get somebody who's gonna say, hey, no, you should look at this lesson, you should look at that lesson. And that's what we do over there in that community. You'll find all kinds of tips and tricks. You'll find all kinds of links to art tutorials and things that can help you, okay? And if you're genuinely contributing to the community, you will get genuine constructive criticism. Tip number 6, take some formal classes or online courses. I, of course, have my own online courses that teach you about the fundamentals. I call these my easy art lessons because I've made them super easy and fun. And it's just about like, you'll be drawing cool pirates and cool characters and characters in perspective, you know, in environments. You can impress your friends within a matter of 20 days in that lesson. That'll just teach you the basic fundamentals that every artist needs to know in order to get good. And most of the times, if you're stagnated and you're not getting better, it's because you're not studying these fundamentals, because most art teachers make them boring. I try to not make them boring, okay? But there are also tons of different resources, many different artists online. Obviously, you guys, if you're finding this video, you found some other artists. You're on the right path, you know? Looking up other artists that are going to encourage you and looking up art lessons online are going to be your key to unlocking this magical power that you're developing, okay? But you're also going to need to be consistent with that. So it's going to require some passion. So stick with it and keep looking all the time. Find new techniques constantly. Add that to your repertoire. Think of it like a library. You're adding a new lesson to your library. Tip number 7, keep a sketchbook, okay? Carry it like a treasure map, okay? Capturing ideas everywhere you go. I never went anywhere without a sketchbook for the first 20 years of my drawing career. Every single place I went, every movie I'd go and see, I'd come out of the movie theater and I'd be sketching. Everybody just saw me with my nose in a sketchbook throughout most of my 20s. Okay, that's all I did. And I've still got piles and piles of ideas and character designs and doodles and sketches. And many of my stories came to me from dreams that I would wake up in the morning and I would sketch out. And that's where a lot of my comic book ideas came from. Tip number 8, document your progress. It's hard for us to see how much we're growing. Sometimes we feel like we're stuck in the mires of one particular technique, or drawing faces or anatomy, for example, or making your characters look relaxed and having weight to them, you know, or whatever it might be that you're struggling with. Sometimes it's hard to see whether we're growing or not. So one thing I like to do is I like to redraw something that I drew a year ago and compare them side by side. You know, literally pull up an old drawing that you did and try to do a better version of it. Look at all the things that you've learned in that period of time. If it's exactly the same, then you need to go back to fundamental training. You need to go back to learning basics of anatomy, basics of perspective and construction, all the fundamentals that you learn in those courses that I was saying back in the earlier tip. But having documented progress shows that you're growing. And sometimes it's hard for us to see it ourselves, but having it side by side like that can really define it and can make it really solid in your mind that, yes, I'm going somewhere. I'm making progress. It may be slow, but at least I'm getting somewhere. And this is why they say practice, practice, practice. Because if at least you're looking at every single piece that you're doing and you're evaluating how you can make it better, then at least you're growing. And there you have it, my art warriors. This is my top tips on how to improve at your art fast. And this is something that pros do constantly. And this is something that I've done for many, many years throughout my entire career. If you want to get a little bit of a head start with this sort of a thing with digital art, if you like what you're seeing me do here on my screen, then you can check out my free art starter kit over on my Gumroad channel. It's a free download and it's got some great lessons in there that'll get you started, very in-depth, real time. This is the kind of stuff you can't find on YouTube, okay? So check that out and it'll get you drawing and painting some cool stuff in digital very quickly. Also, I have many videos here on my YouTube channel for getting started with digital art, as well as developing pro level skills. So please do subscribe, ring the bell. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. All right, ciao.